There's a saying we use a lot in Apex, which is that there's no such thing as a bad person, just an ordinary person who's made bad choices. And a lot of those choices start very young. This starts to manifest in a detachment from school and from the educational system, poor peer group choices, and increasingly poor behaviour. The Apex inclusion model doesn't work by parachuting a team of experts into a school to show people how to teach. It works by building relationships with the school staff and with the young people themselves, and allowing young people to consider the outcomes of their choices and to see whether there are better choices, more appropriate choices that they can make. Ultimately, of course, the success of the Apex Inclusion Unit is due to the potential which is in every young person, and a little investment now can pay a lifetime's dividend.
My name is Karen Pride and I'm the School Services Development Officer for Apex Scotland. The Inclusion Unit offers itself as a multifunctional entity where it runs as an alternative to exclusion. It runs afternoon programmes that are tailored to the needs of the young people that we're working with. Above and beyond that, once young people leave our programmes or go back into mainstream classes, if they feel a need to come back to us, we also run drop-in services. We're looking at running holiday programmes to keep them involved and engaged in their communities. There's a whole plethora of services that we can actually offer to keep young people succeeding and achieving and hopefully go on to have a positive future.
Hi, my name's Louise Ramsey. I'm Deputy Rector at Dunfermline High School. The Inclusion Unit, which is a vital part of our school now, came to be about 5 or 6 years ago. We were concerned that we had pupils who were disengaged from school, disengaged from society. We had a lose-lose situation because they were being excluded from school for bad behaviour. They were perpetrating that bad behaviour in society when they were excluded, and they weren't getting the attainment and achievement they needed to go on and be valuable members of society when they left school. We wanted to turn that round. So we engaged with Apex, who'd been a partner of ours in the past, to ensure that these pupils were kept in school, that their behaviour was addressed, that they were allowed to continue with their exam subjects, and that they also learned life skills which would allow them to become valuable contributors to society in future.
Lynn, do you put them face first on the table and then you just...
Right.
Sorry,
I've done it. Right, turn them around.
go for it.
Put them in order.
Right, what you do is, to the most serious offence, right?
Yeah.
To the least serious offence, but you all have to agree with it, okay?
Right,
So, everybody take a card.
The success of the Inclusion Unit stems mainly from the staff who facilitate the service. The relationship the young people have with inclusion coordinators is one of respect and trust, and it's something that's earned and not just expected.
Hi, I'm Lynn Proctor, working in Dunfermline High School in the Inclusion Unit. Been here for about 4 or 5 years now doing this. It's an alternative to exclusion. What happens is the kids, instead of being excluded, they'll come here in the mornings. We'll look at what's going on, why they're behaving the way they are, and a lot of the issues that we do find, it's either drugs, alcohol, some chaotic family lifestyles, could be a mixture of anything, or it could just be mixing with the wrong crowds. We also run an afternoon group in the afternoons, which is kids that are not being excluded, but they're maybe just on the referral stage, they're getting a lot of referrals in. And we do things like, we'll do anger management, we'll do body language, we'll do dealing with authority.
The benefit for the pupils of having such a unit in the school is that they have somewhere where they feel valued. They can look at their behaviours, they can consider their behaviours and the decisions that they've taken, the choices that they've made, and maybe realise that they can make different choices in future. Our exclusions reduced by 72% in the first 2 years. Now that's phenomenal. But also the school benefits because these are pupils who can turn from being challenging pupils within the school to valuable contributors to the school.
It's needs-based here, and it's what their needs are. We'll try and tailor it. We do prison visits with them and they get a full tour, and they also get to speak to some of the prisoners while they're there.
So hopefully this morning all going to plan. We'll get a chance to look at the segregation unit. We'll get a chance to look at V Hall remand area. We'll go into the reception, we'll go into the gym, we'll have a look at an exercise yard, and we'll have a look at C Hall from the outside as well.
Right guys, what we've got here, okay, this is a segregation unit. You would probably know it as solitary confinement.
I went to Perth prison. It was scary. And like, it's just dodgy, the amount of people that are there, and they're all huge. And like, we got to speak to them, and that they'll tell us like their stories and how bad it is in jail, and like made me realise like I need to stop mucking about in that outside the school and getting in trouble, because one of these days I could get put in there and I don't like that.
It's giving them options. They're getting to see that this is not a life for them, or this can be their life if they keep going on the path that they are on.
How did you know that? Anyway, you all know the drill.
Yes.
When you catch the ball, it's your left, whatever your left thumb lands on. One of the most enjoyable things about my job is that I get to work with the most inspirational young people that you can ever come across.
What do you value most in your life, Chloe?
My name's Chloe Donald and I'm a 4th year pupil at Dunfermline High, and I was first involved in the inclusion unit in first year when I got put in the afternoon groups because I wouldn't get on in my classes as much and I had conflict with other pupils.
I'm Darren Taylor and I came into the inclusion unit for Skyven.
Hi, I'm Chloe Duncan and I'm a 4th year pupil at Dunfermline High School. I just used to get put in here like the whole way through first and second year for like fighting, attitude, because like I just couldn't be bothered with school, like I didn't want to be there.
Hiya, I'm Connor Brogan. I'm in 3rd year and I first came to inclusion in 1st year.
I'm Ryan, I'm in 4th year and I came to the inclusion unit in 1st year for Skyven.
Being in the inclusion unit helped me because like it made me realise what I had been doing and how my conflicts and that weren't the right decisions, and it just prompted me to be the person that I wanted to be, not the person I was forced to be by pupils.
The inclusion helps me in and out of school, because if I'm in school it helps me like any problems I've got, and if I'm out of school they've done like past drug talks and drink talks and everything, and it teaches you to be more responsible for yourself.
In first and second year I would never have thought I would be like where I am now if I continued like how I was being, and like now I've won like awards, I've done like award ceremonies, like introduced Tam Bailey at an annual lecture and stuff. If the inclusion unit wasn't here I don't think we would have been in this school at all. I think we'd been kicked out and moved to a different school, and we wouldn't speak to each other, and we didn't have any of the friends or any of the things we've done and people we've met, because we've met so many people through the inclusion unit. Like we went to the Learning Festival and we met so many folk, and it opened so many opportunities for us. So I just think if the inclusion unit wasn't here the school wouldn't be the way it is now, and everything would just fall apart in the school.
As it says on my report sheet, like it used to be all unsatisfactory. Now it's like a couple of satisfactories and mostly all good. I feel very proud about myself. After everything I've been with inclusion and about inclusion, I've been told stuff with teachers and everything.
I know I've changed because in first year I didn't ever think I'd be where I am right now, because in first year I was skiving, I was getting involved in drink, and now I've got a college placement, I'm a head mentor, and now that I've behaved and I've got a positive attitude towards the school, I'm able to do more things. Like we've been going on a sponsors walks, doing bake sales, and I'm getting the more respect than I ever thought I would for any of the teachers. Now that I've got a college placement, the inclusion unit's still pushing me forward to be as best as I can when I'm in college, and it's pushing me towards what I want to do, and it's pushing me for the right reasons, and not just because I have to, but because they know I've got the motivation to make myself do it.
I just want to go to college and that, and just hope for the best.
I want to keep going to my work experience, then try and get an apprenticeship with Casey Pratis, and then be a joiner, and then go into property development.
I've applied for college, I want to go to uni and like join the Navy and stuff, but in first and second year I never ever thought that would have ever happened. But then like now like I've changed and stuff, and now I know that I can do it if I want it.
I feel good because I'm up for that award thing next year. Been nominated for the Self-Development Award.
Inclusion, like, it gives you that boost you need, doesn't it? Like, if I come in here with a problem, I talk to Karen or Lynn, and then like they help me with my problem, and then they sort it out and tell me to go back to class and focus on that, and then I let that distract me in that.
If other schools were to ask why have an inclusion unit, I would say that if you wanted to reduce your exclusion rate, you wanted to increase attendance in your school, you wanted to reduce absenteeism, you wanted to raise confidence and self-esteem within your young people, you wanted to raise aspiration and motivation within your young people, particularly those that are most disengaged from education and you're most challenging, I would say that would be your reason to have an inclusion unit and invest in a service that's going to provide a lifetime of dividends.
I'd love this to be in every school, because I think every child should have the opportunity to have a safe place to come, speak, open, and it's not a teacher, because as much as teachers they do a great job, sometimes kids see them as a barrier, where in here we're not a barrier, and I'd love to see this so every kid has the opportunity to see that there is light at the end of the tunnel.
If I was to tell other schools about inclusion, I think they'd probably want to get one. Like,
The inclusion unit sort of brings the school together, so I think every school should have one.
Yes.
Should definitely have it in our schools, like.
every school definitely needs one.